Hey, what's up, everybody? We are back. It's been like a month, I think. Welcome to Tone Talk with Mark and Dave, episode 100. We made it. We made it. We're proud to have 100 episodes. I can't believe we actually have 100 episodes. It's awesome. How you doing, Dave?
Doing fine, running around a little. Sorry I'm late, people.
Cool.
We had important things to do, though. A little internet problem, but also had to get champagne to commemorate the show.
So we didn't coordinate on that because I would have gotten champagne also. I got Sam Adams.
Well, that's fine.
Yeah,
I have the champagne.
Okay, well, that's all right.
In fact, we'll crack it right now.
Yeah, I'll wait. All right, let's crack it.
Let's do the pop for the 100th show. Right?
Yep.
There you go.
It hit the top of the thing.
It did. It hit my light. That's fine. Wanted to make sure it was heard.
Cheers, everybody. Thanks for joining us. We're really psyched about doing it. So Dave and I were actually together about 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. It seems like forever ago already, but was it 2 weeks ago?
I don't know. Could have been 2 months ago. Time escapes me these days. I have no idea.
Right? So it was fun. It was fun. We got to hang out together, had dinner together. I got to experience Chiba sushi, which was quite the experience. Awesome sushi. I love it.
Ruined you forever.
Yeah, well, definitely. I won't be going to like all you can eat sushi places and thinking, oh, this is great. So we've got a lot of people who are watching the show already and wishing us a happy 100th show. And I already missed it, but I want to give a thanks to Cheddar Kung Pao, who gave us a super chat right off the bat and said he was going to miss the show, but that he was gave us a super chat like right off the bat. So thanks, Cheddar, man. Hope you're doing well, and we appreciate it. And there's tons of people out. We got John DeShane, Mike in Miami, who's going to be having some surgery soon. So good luck to you, man. Super Chicks, Brett, Mike Torin, who said it's a little early to be drinking on the West Coast, but he's doing it.
It's not champagne. That's right.
That's true.
It's like breakfast time. So
I think he does. He drinks the. I can't think of it now. What does he drink again? Oh, the Japanese stuff.
He drinks a lot of things. I don't think there's any one thing, is there, Michael?
No, but I bought him that bottle of
sake.
What was it? The sake. That's right. I couldn't think of it.
Yeah. Well, that and whiskey and tequila.
The sake was good. Actually, that was another thing that you had me try, which was sake, which was that creamy sake that Dina was.
Nagori,
yeah, that was good stuff. Too. So, super cool. So we got tons of people here. I believe I also saw Reza here and Jimmy
Reza,
Page, who I thought Jimmy Page was Bruce from Foreigner, but no, it's it's Vernon from Massachusetts. But I think Stephen Douglas, Richard Friend. We also have BV Ninja, who's our moderator. I want to give a huge thank you to BV Ninja, always being here or almost always being here for us in the chat and hooking us up. We really appreciate it. He hooked us up with Tom Bukovac, which also was a great experience. After I came back from LA, like the week later, I went to go see Tom play with Ann Wilson in Fort Myers. And that was awesome. And then cool. And Ann, she's, how old did he say she was? 72?
Yeah, I've met her before.
Yeah, man. We didn't meet her. She was as soon as the show was over, she got on her bus.
She out.
She was like, see ya. But I got to meet Tom, and then we went to hang out on his bus, the tour bus, and the rest of the band came on, and we were drinking beers. My wife was there. It was a cool experience. Tom's a really, really good dude. And I owe it all to BV Ninja for hooking us up. So yeah, that's pretty much what's been going on. I know you have some news. You guys are moving your factory, right?
Yeah, so we'll just get it out of the way here before anyone asks. So what's going on with the fire at our factory? It didn't burn our things. We had lots of smoke damage, which means we threw out a million cabinets and head boxes and rolls of Tolex and every cardboard box and packaging in the entire facility, which that's a lot if you know how many brands there are.
All the Tolex.
All the Tolex.
Wow.
Everything. Anything that the Tolex just absorbs the smoke like a sponge, so wasn't usable. So then, we're currently still in our old facility and we got a new building and we're starting to move. But currently we are starting production again in the old facility. The last 2 weeks I've been testing amps. But we're waiting for head boxes and Tolexing them and cardboard boxes and everything else. So bear with us. We're getting back as fast as possible. But the new facility would be really cool. It's a monumental mess and a monumental task to move this company too. So bear with us, please.
Yeah, I can imagine. So,
yeah.
Yep. Everybody have patience. It takes time. And on top of that, you freaking had the pandemic and everything else was already back ordered as it was. So it's like,
oh, we were painfully back. Well, at the early beginning of the pandemic, we were down, I don't know, 6-8 weeks or something. So things got backed up then because orders didn't stop coming in for that time frame. And then everyone, lost their mind and decided to buy gear during the pandemic for the last year, along with, every other manufacturer's gear. So that is a massive back order. And, and then, we're just busting our asses to get stuff out the door. Everything's rocking, trying to get these back orders taken care of. And then this.
Right.
Holy crap. What a mess.
Yeah, that sucks.
So if you're waiting for stuff, I'm sorry. Do I have an idea when your stuff might come to a store? I really don't have any idea. We are literally filling the orders as they initially came in. We're going to be filling, orders forever here. So as production ramps up, we will be getting stuff out.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, good to know. Well, the other thing I want to talk about is Sweetwater and Universal Audio. Let's talk. Let's talk Universal Audio. So,
yeah, see,
so this. Oh, nice.
Universal Audio.
I've got one right here, which is right next to me. I also have the Universal Audio Ox right here as well.
That's an awesome piece.
Yeah, it's great. It really is a great piece. And you guys can all get that gear at Sweetwater. So what I want to do is I just want to show you right here.
It's pretty much some of the best all-in-one sort of recording gear you could purchase. The interfaces are amazing.
Mm-hmm.
What is really nice is it comes with the the DSP and the plugin. Well, it doesn't come with the plugins, but Universal Audio plugins are some of the best in the business at emulating all this old gear. And I have tons of them. I've been using this stuff for years. So it's definitely a great solution. And the small interfaces like the Apollo Twins and everything are great for a home recordist or just someone that wants an interface with his speakers and wants to mess around even with like Friedman plugins, for instance, are on the Universal platform. So Pete Thorne's PT100. So are several other things, Marshall and a couple other companies.
Yeah.
So, you get, we hope to have some new plugins in the future too that will come out, some new updated things.
Yeah, that would be great. I just wanted to show some of the plugins. The other thing that's really cool about getting plugins from Sweetwater for Universal Audio is you can actually download them right to your computer and start using them once you authorize them right from Sweetwater. So, and they're always running different specials and different sales and stuff like that. So definitely check them out. If you're going to be buying plugins, Universal Audio gear, you can definitely buy it from Sweetwater. And the other thing that I just noticed also, which is, well, that I just purchased actually, which is, I want to share my screen also on this. Let's see if this works. I'm going to share my window and go to GarageBand. Can you see that, Dave?
No.
No,
I just see a blank Tone Talk screen.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I see your screen, but it just shows the chat and a blank Tone Talk screen.
How strange. All right. Well, I stopped sharing it then.
Never mind.
All right. Well, I was going to show GarageBand, and I brought up the harmonizer, like the Eventide harmonizer, and what it does to your recording. I mean, it's just great plugins. So you guys, make sure you check out Sweetwater. Wanted to spend some time on that because they are a sponsor of our show, and if you click the links, which we have, then we get a little kickback, a little commission on the sale. It doesn't cost you any extra money, so just know that. I want to say hi to Michael Nielsen.
I just saw Michael yesterday,
who says BV is a pimp in a good way.
That's great.
Nielsen cracks me up all the time. L. Scott Music, happy 100. Thanks for all the fish. I mean, Tone Talk. Okay. And Torrance says Nagori is actually his favorite.
See, Michael, we have very similar taste.
That's cool. If I missed anybody's super chat, I don't think I did. Hang on a second. Loving the show. Ordering the BE module for my Sin 1 this week.
Do it.
Yeah, it's great. I love the synergy stuff.
Yeah, it serves an awesome purpose, and it's cool. I mean, eventually there'll be some other new things in the future for that platform. So you look forward to that. Some new modules, some different things.
Before I miss it, Michael Caminos, thanks for the super chat. Dirty Shirley is on the way. Can you crank plexi type tones with it? Would you suggest everything on 10, lowish gain, master on 7/8, or would you not suggest EQ settings? Or would you?
No, I wouldn't say EQ with Dirty Shirley. I wouldn't say EQ settings on 10, not at all, because the amp's more of a JTM 45-ish sort of tone. If you're going to put stuff on 10, it's going to be too much bass. Typically, like a JTM 45 kind of amp, you would have the bass off or at 2, and then maybe you're cranking up the other tones. But you can experiment. You don't have to necessarily crank the power section and use the input low. You can. It works, but if you started with stuff around, say, if you started with everything around noonish, including the volume, if you want it up there, I mean, that's a good starting spot. And then you can adjust the mids up a little bit and the bass down a little bit, and all that stuff. So just adjust from there. You'll find your way. Just mess around with it. There's no right thing,
But it is
texting me. Sorry. If you hear a ding, sorry. You guys stop texting. I didn't have time to turn it off on my computer. Better yet, I don't even know where to go to turn it off. But
Les B, thanks for the super chat. I think you asked a question. Oh, here. Hey, Dave and Mark, love the show. Dave, my Run 50 has developed a crack in the faceplate. I was wondering if I can order replacement.
You can, but please wait until we move, because right now production is like all jumbled up, and it's not as easy as just going, "Hey, can you make me one of these panels and I can send it out?" We do also have black panels, in case you're interested. So a black faceplate gold writing. I actually have those with me here in my shop.
All right, so email Dave if you want to get that.
Yeah, it looks cool that way.
Fabio Moriera. Hey, Dave, Tone Talk is the best. Hey, man, thanks. How can I fix my tube driver impedance problem when using with digital pedal after? I always tried using a buffer, 1 ohm input, and 150K output, but it did not work.
What do you mean an impedance problem with digital pedal after? What does it do? I've never had an issue with tube drivers. And if you put a buffer after, it's then a buffered output. So what are the issues that you're having? Never in any rigs that I've done with tube drivers have I put anything special after.
Maybe you can clarify.
Yeah.
Rolo, congrats. Happy 100th. Thanks, man. Both of you rock, and this show is a gift to all musicians and gear fans. Long life to Tone Talk. I love that. Killer. Thank you.
I see who was texting me. It's Michael Torin, wasn't it? He's showing me pictures of 3 different whiskeys.
I know he just got a bottle.
Nika Coffee Malt Whiskey. Nika Coffee Malt Whiskey. Okay, there's 3 different. Okay. Where are my bottles? If you're going to show me, don't tease me. Send them.
Come on over.
Exactly. Come on over. Because after the champagne, the day's wasted anyway. No, I'll be working today, actually. Maybe.
Captain Sexy 90. Thanks for the super chat. What do you guys think of James Tyler guitars? You should also get Rich Rankin on the show. Such a cool guy. Love from the Captain.
Actually, that's a great idea. I've known Rich forever. Tyler guitars are awesome, man. They're really. See, Tyler guitars have this polarizing headstock thing. People either love them or absolutely hate the headstock. And I'm actually one that loves the headstock. So Tyler guitar is amazing. So, I mean, there's no doubt about it. It's going to cost you a good amount of money. That's for sure. But I mean, you know, the swirl finishes and everything that he sort of, not swirl, the crazy finishes that he sort of started way back. I mean, I've been around those guitars since I've been 18 years old. I mean, you know, and Rich worked there for years, went away for a while, and I know now is back. And Rich would be a great guest. In fact, I'm going to do that.
Cool.
He worked for Gibson for a while for KRK monitors and some other recording brands. He's a recording engineer. So
is he out in California?
Yeah. He's here. Yeah. Tyler Guitars is in Burbank here. So it's really close to me.
Gotcha.
That'd be great. That's a good idea. Thank you.
All right. Thanks for the idea. Yeah. We'll reach out to him. My wife with the happy 100th. Thanks. Appreciate it, babe.
Let's talk about this. Let's talk about this logo. I don't know if you can see this. Circus Liquor, our unofficial sponsor of the show. Circus Liquor is a liquor store right at the corner from my shop. It's been there forever. It has a crazy clown neon sign in front of it. It's been in a million movies and TV shows and stuff over the years.
Wow.
And it's kind of a landmark. And that's why you get the little circus clown. I don't know if you can see it very well on this glass, but
I see the clown. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a super cool, great, well-stocked, beautiful store.
I almost got killed in a liquor store in LA 2 weeks
I don't
ago.
know about that. I remember the story, but I don't know if you almost got killed. It was a unique experience, shall we say.
Yes, it was a unique experience. It could have gotten bad. Everybody I told, they're like, are you crazy for intervening? But anyway, let's move on. There's a question here. We might as well just address it. If you want to talk about it, have they talked about Grover leaving Friedman and what's next?
No, we haven't talked about that really yet. We have gotten sidetracked with our moving and all that. Friedman guitars are continuing. Grover has gone to Nashville. Grover is sort of semi-retiring. We have kept some of the same staff that were making the guitars, and we have looked for a future announcement of what's going on exactly. But not to worry, they're better than ever.
Awesome. There's a lot of super chats I got to get to.
Yeah.
So let me get to them.
I actually don't have my mouse with me, so I'm going to try to.
Okay. Thomas Selmer Olson, thanks so much. Hi from South Africa. Oh, awesome. You see, we get different places.
Yeah, the reason we decided to do, or at least maybe I made the decision and told Mark.
It's better for me.
I was talking with Pete Thorne, and he goes, you guys should think about doing the show like on an early time, like a Saturday or something. He goes, just don't do it when I do my show. Because you get people at different countries that are able to tune in live. So, like Thomas here, and what does Thomas have to say?
Yeah, thanks for so many amazing episodes and all the knowledge you shared, Dave. How do you get around relay coil hum? I struggle with it in my builds. Dead quiet with no relay. Help.
Amp builds. I'm assuming. I don't really generally have too much of a problem with it. It's never really come up. I mean, I've had it in rig builds, relay coil hum, where your like switcher is too close to proximity to, like say in the old days, like say a power amp or something. You can't have the switcher that close to the power amp because actually it will produce a field hum into the switcher. I don't really have that much problem with that. I mean, everything that we do is DC tube heaters now, and generally dead silent. So, but the key to that really is DC tube heaters and a regulated DC tube heaters. It doesn't actually have to be regulated DC tube heaters. It just has to be well filtered, and a really good layout. So don't put the relays on top of the power transformer. That's a bad idea.
Okay. Don't ask me for advice on that.
I don't think Mark can answer that. He can make something up. Maybe.
No.
He couldn't even make something up that sounds good.
All right. Hey, Vinny. What is up, Vincent?
Vinny, what's up?
I owe him a phone call from like 3 weeks ago. I called him when I was in LA, and then I dropped off.
Thank you for the 100 opportunities to hide from the family.
I missed that. Which Nev vocal plugin would you recommend? Nev?
I
always pronounce things wrong. God.
Yeah, I know. You know what, Neve? Shoot, man. I mean, you don't have to be honest. You don't have to. I mean, we don't. But we're using like Shure SM7 mics into a UA Apollo Twin, like for instance here, and on the Apollo Twin, I have a distressor compressor plug-in on it because this isn't like a condenser mic. This is a SM7 is very low gain, so you have to make sure that it captures your voice, even if you kind of back away from the mic a little bit.
Yeah, get the Empirical Labs distressor.
I mean, you can put that. I mean, if you have, I don't know what interface you have, but if you had an Apollo or something, you can use the Neve, one of their Neve plug-in mic pre's on it, virtual mic pre's. It doesn't make that much of a difference, to be honest. Not for the podcast thing. Just get a good mic.
Well, for me at least, I don't know, with the SM7, I find that at least a compressor seems to help.
Yeah.
You know, boost the signal a little bit and give you a bit more voice.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you for your settings before we went live, but I forgot. So, but it sounds fine. So yeah, Vinny, thanks, man. Just go on the UA site. I mean, on Sweetwater and check out the plugins there. Next one, a nice one from PRS 1986. Thank you so much. Congrats, sirs. Dave, thank you for all your help years ago. I still have your old 67 Jose Black Flag 100 watt. Wow.
You bought it? That's cool.
When you and Mark are ever in St. Pete, Clearwater, you're always open to have an open invite jam on it again. Cheers. Oh, Mateo. Cool, man. I was actually just in that area, but well, not really. I was in Fort Myers, so I guess it's a little further away.
I can't believe you got that. That's, you know, even though I know you paid a good amount of money for that amp, it's worth more now. Prices have gone through the roof. So
I was going to say, yeah. I mean, what's that amp worth now?
Oh man, look, it was a Black Flag 100 watt Marshall. That alone, oh, man, I don't even know what that is alone right now. It's hard to judge these. The prices have gone up so much in the last 3 months, let's say. I would begin
10
to no 15 a minimum.
Wow.
For just the amp. I mean, honestly, I think that amp with the Jose mod on it is a $25,000 amp at least.
Wow.
Well, you got to remember Richard Fortis's Mick Mars amp sold for $45,000.
Did it?
Yes. So the Mick Mars Jose sold for $45,000. So.
Wow, my voice went up like 3
octaves. Me too. So I would think that, it's like a house sells for a lot on your street, it brings up the value of your other the other amps,
Wow.
That's cool. They're rare. A Jose amp never comes up for sale, almost never. And the fact that that's a really old plexi and a rare plexi, and I, think about it now, and I kind of kick myself for selling it originally a long time ago. But who knew?
Right. Exactly.
But I have another plexi sitting, or not plexi. I have another Jose sitting here. So, well, it's in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen.
Yep. I saw it. Dave, will you film a demo review on your Holy Grail 68 plexi? Porky Lowen, thanks for the super chat. Porky Lowen.
I might do it with Michael Nielsen.
Michael.
We had talked about that. Maybe we'd do that at some point.
Very cool. Yeah, because that
one's never for sale.
I never get this right.
But guys, I am going to make a clone of it,
which is kind of like mine right there.
Yeah. I am going to make a clone of it. Cosmetically, it won't be a clone of it, but sonically, it will be a clone of it.
How cool is that?
That'll come with the vintage line and along with the AC30. But I am not making a Marshall knockoff per se. I'm not going to make cosmetically a Marshall knockoff. I want to make it look cool, just not. Doesn't have to look exactly the same.
Mm-hmm.
You might have a brushed stainless front. Maybe.
Yeah, because you like that better than gold.
I hate gold.
Yeah.
And everyone's going to laugh at that, but I really don't like gold. My favorite amp of the line would be the Dirty Shirley or Twin Sister because it's not gold.
Right. Silver. Ronan Lone Wolf. Thanks, man. Or woman. I'm not sure. Thank you, Mark and Dave, for all you do. Love you guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. And appreciate the super chat. Helps the channel. It really does. Blake Burris, who I saw many of your comments up front, man, before we started, and really nice comments about watching all the episodes. And thanks. Really appreciate it. Just built my first rack rig with a Sin 2 which I'm on my way of getting one as well. The Marshall 9005. Can I just turn off my Furman to shut it all down safely, or should I switch each off? Good question. Like, meaning, can you keep them all on and just turn your Furman power conditioner off and turn it all off? Or
You can turn it all off. Makes no difference.
cool. Good question. That helps me out. I'm tired of flipping everything
maybe
on.
You can flip a power amp into standby or something, but you don't have to. Actually, you can just flip it all on and off. It won't hurt anything.
Nice.
I mean, and all the racks we built in all the old days, sometimes we would turn the power amp off just so it wouldn't make any noise when you're flipping everything off. But other than that, no, just bang, go. You won't hurt it.
Love it.
A lot of people will think they're going to hurt something, and it's just the fact of the matter is you just won't.
That's cool. What do you think of the pile power conditioners?
Never used one in my life.
So which one would you recommend? Furman?
I'm not a big fan. I'm not big crazy for crazy expensive stupid ones. Just a basic Furman is fine. I mean, it just protects some RF stuff, and that's all it really does. Protects from surges, and that's it. I mean, there are other things that you could do to regulate things and this and that, but it depends on the power and where you're at. But to be honest, I don't really. For your amps, it's sometimes nice to be able to control the voltage, especially if you have a hot wall voltage, meaning like 126 or something like that. We fortunately here in California don't have that kind of wall voltage stuff in this area at all. It's always fluctuating around 117 to 120.
Mine can go high. I've seen it go up to 124, 125.
Yeah. Then it's a good idea like to have a brown box or a Variac or something for an amp. Because for nothing else, it doesn't really matter for anything else, but for the amp, what happens with the amp is it'll start sounding harsh, kind of bright and brittle and harsh. And when you pull it down a little bit, even a little below 120, 115 to 117 area, it'll sound a little sweeter and a little nicer. For sure.
That's what I do with you can't see my BE100 behind me, but that's what I do. I've got a brown box back there. And then for the Plexi one that I have, God, I can't do that. Anyway, right there, you can see the Variac. So,
right.
Blake Burris.
Accomplishing the same thing with either of those sources.
Would you autograph a Friedman module if I order it direct? Also, Circus Liquors is one of the best recurring movie locations in LA.
Absolutely. It's been I'm watching shows and TV shows and movies, and all of a sudden, hey, look, it's Circus. Has been for a million years. I mean, there were a lot of years when it was just kind of just a run of the mill liquor store that just your corner liquor store, that didn't have anything real special or anything. Had the famous sign. But then I don't know how many years ago, they did a revamp completely. They put in a walk-in beer cooler and, craft beers and all sorts of wine. They did a remodel and high-end liquor. And now it's a quite high-end liquor store that has an amazing selection. So.
And would you autograph his Friedman module?
Yes, sure. Cool. Yeah. Email me. I can hook you up.
All right. If you don't have his email, it is
friedmanamps@gmail.com.
There you go.
Yeah, I can hook you up with the module and everything. So
Vibhas Patil, what's going on, man? Dave and Mark, hope all is well with you. Congratulations on the 100th episode. A question for Dave. Are there any issues in using two power supplies to power my pedal board? Any phase issues? I do that. I don't think there's any.
Two different power supplies because you don't have enough room for on one. No, there's no issues with that. Not at all. No, just 2 AC cords going into the board. Yeah, that's no problem.
Yep. You should be fine. Thanks for the super chat. I'm trying to get to all of them. We got tons. Thank you for everybody. Congrats on the 100th episode, Mark and Dave. Best wishes to all associated with Bad and your current situation. Abraxas 1. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
That's awesome. Yeah. Hope to get stuff coming soon. Pentatonic Prancer. What's up? Mark and Dave, what were your favorite picks from the Pete Thorne Good question. Pete Thorne VH pickup shootout. Did any
okay.
Yeah, let's get into it.
That was a lot of work, man. What you don't see, I mean, it was a lot of work for Pete too. I mean, he did 3 days of editing on that video. And vowed never to do anything like that again. And the funny thing is, it was all my idea. Sorry, Pete.
That's awesome.
Here's one thing that became very apparent. So if you are a fan of Van Halen 1 kind of thing, it's the higher output pickup. You know, it's the Mighty Mite distortion clone, or it's the super distortion. Most likely it was the Mighty Mite, which is a direct clone of the super distortion. Even Pete said, even Larry DiMarzio said, yeah, they just cloned it, knocked it off. I mean, the Mighty Mite was awesome sounding, but the other thing about that is the guitar, the Destroyer, has a certain sound, and with that pickup, and that's part of everything.
Is it the Destroyer? Can you get the same sound from an Explorer if you were using Explorer?
Similar. It's not the same wood. The original Ibanez Destroyers were like ash, I think. I think that's what it was, if I'm not mistaken. So that's a big deal. And you can hear it in the video when he plays that guitar. There's a certain attack in the way it does. Also, the scale length also can make a difference. Also, what I took away from it is there's a lot of good pickups. And depending on the guitar you have and the body wood that's your guitar's made out of, you might choose a different pickup. So we did all the pickups in the one guitar, hard ash, heavy guitar, black and white guitar. And it's interesting. There was one part in the video. So I'm a big fan of this, the second degree black belt. But I actually felt that the second degree black belt in that particular guitar didn't sound as good as it did in Pete's Floyd Rose equipped black guitar, which there's one point in that video when he switches to that for a little while. It's not even titled. And so that's an Alnico 5 pickup, and that's going to be brighter and more attack. I do think really Alnico 2 was the overall magnet for later records. You're going to have to play with these pickups a little bit with the kind of guitar you have. Because like if you have a body wood that's different, let's say you have a basswood body, it's not going to get the same results as the hard ash body. So maybe the Alnico 2 then is too soft for that body. And then maybe you want the second degree black belt because it's an A5 magnet, And
that's Motor City pickups, just in case anybody wanted to know.
Yeah. And so I mean, what I took away from it is that, hey, the original Mighty Mite was great. The distortion, DiMarzio distortion pickup's great. The second degree black belt was great, better in some guitars than others. The Pariah pickups across the board were really good.
Yeah, Sean makes good stuff.
Yeah, he makes good stuff. And it seems like the later records, it's kind of the 9K El Nico 2 recipe. Kind of seems to work across the board. But again, depends on the body wood and the guitar you have. So you can't just say that that's going to work in your guitar. You do have to play with things a little bit, So, I mean, there were no crazy surprises. Even a Duncan 59 sounded good. A little on the weak side, but overall it sounds great. And in certain guitars, it'll sound better than other guitars. And also, there's another thing I want to do too, that we'll do this video, is the effects of a volume knob, the value of a volume knob. How does that? So if you take let's say you take a Duncan 59 pickup. Let's say we just take one pickup. What are the effects of, say, a 500K pot versus a 300K versus a 250? That would be a very interesting video to listen to. And I picked that pickup because I know it affects that pickup greatly.
Really?
Yeah.
Why is that?
I actually like that pickup better with a 250K.
Cleans up better?
It rolls. No. The lower value pots will roll the top end a little bit. But by rolling the top end, sometimes it also accentuates certain mid frequencies. So it will change the overall tone of the pickup.
Interesting. I thought that the super distortion for the early stuff for the first album.
Yeah. I think the best, though, to be honest, the best high gain one was the original Mighty Might.
Yeah.
That was fucking vicious in his guitar. I thought that was amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd have to go back and listen. But I also thought the Pariah pickup sounded really good too. So, yeah.
Also, the bare knuckles sounded good too.
Yeah, bare knuckles are great. Yeah, the VH2, is that what it was? Yeah. Good stuff. Yeah, great question, Pentatonic Prancer. Mike Korsak. Congratulations, guys. 100 shows. Excited to receive my new Dirty Shirley next week from Sweetwater, ordered late March. Hey, Dave, of all the rigs you've done, where did you mostly put the chorus? In the loop, after delay? Thanks.
Oh, man, that totally depends on what chorus we're talking. I mean, could be after. Well, I mean, what kind of rig are we talking? What chorus are we talking? That's hard to answer. If you just have a pedal board per se, like a chorus, like say an Old Boss CE2 chorus or something, generally speaking, goes after distortions. Could also go in a loop of an amp. If you're talking like an old CE1 chorus, I would never put that in a loop or after distortions. I like it in front. If you're talking phaser, I like it in front. If you're talking, there depends on what you're using it for and what it is. So it's you'd have to tell me more. Feel free to tell me more. I can try to answer.
Yeah, I'll look for it. Simon Hosford, great player. He's out in Australia. Happy 100th from Melbourne, gents. Mark, I'm the chap that played the Van Halen 1 album. Yeah, man. Awesome from start to finish. He did a live show in Australia, I guess in Melbourne. He said, should I pull the tubes out of my old Marshall when flying with it? By the way, love the Steinberger in your room. Oh, cool. Thanks.
Should you pull the tubes out? I don't know. How is it traveling? Is it in a case? Does it have tube retainers? No. Not generally speaking, no. I don't recommend taking the tubes out. In fact, in my experiences, if you don't pack them right or don't do it right, then there's more damage caused. But again, it depends. Are your tube sockets loose? Is it a newer amp? Is it an older amp? Is it does it have retainers? Lots of questions. Is it in a road case?
Yeah, I'd be careful though. I mean, if if it's in a road,
I'm not one. I 99.9% of the time, I never pull any tubes in shipping any amp. So, because again, I've seen this happen a million times. People send me amps and they pull tubes, and then they don't do it right. They don't pack it right, and then the tubes wind up loose in the back of the amp in some fashion, or in a box that gets crushed or something. And if you would have just left them in the amp, they would have been fine. Of course, then again, sometimes I get amps that are literally in a box with no padding. And some make it. So like I look at it and I go, how the heck did it make it?
In a box with no padding.
Yeah. I've had just cardboard box wrapped around an amp head. And theoretically, the amp head is a solid wood box, but if it's dropped wrong, if you drop it right on the corner, everything will fall crack apart. That head box in a second.
Yeah. Lusakoya, how are you? Thanks for the super chat. Happy 100th, guys. Dave, I have 2 JTM 45s with effects loops on both and 2 Roland SDE 3000s. How should I plug those to have the best possible sounds?
You have 2 JTM 45s. Are they reissue JTM 45s? And are you using these clean or cranking them? Because honestly, if you're cranking them, the effects loop's pointless. It won't. You start distorting the power section, and all the stuff sounds like crap. If you're running this stuff clean, I mean, you could just put one in each effects loop and then somehow split into both amps via an AB box or something. I don't know your whole setup, so that would be one way, and then you'd have a stereo setup if you're running them relatively clean.
Right. Yeah, but so if you're cranking the amps, you wouldn't put it in the loop.
No, there shouldn't be an effects loop in a non-master volume amp. It just doesn't work.
Yep.
If you're using them clean, it'll work, but if you start cranking them, what happens is the power section is distorting. So then so is your effects. So you might as well just put the effects in front of the amp at that point. You're distorting it the same manner. It doesn't work. It doesn't sound right. Best way to do that is have a wet dry thing and then take a line out off the amp and then feed it into a delay and into a power amp or something.
Gotcha. Okay. Dan Woodford, thanks for the super chat. That's a nice one. Thank you. Dave, I have a ton of old preamp tubes. Much of the print is worn off, but they are all tubes collected over the years through guitar deals. I'm not sure if it's safe to roll the tubes without knowing exactly what they are. Any watch outs?
Well, I mean, as long as they're all 12AX7s, you can. Even if not, I mean, the majority of you're not going to hurt anything. I mean, if you had an EF86 or something, maybe it would be a little weird, but no, you can, even if it's an AT7 or AU7, it'll just sound like a really low gain tube. So no, you can just check them out.
And from if the print's worn off or anything like that, is there anything to look out for on a preamp tube that maybe indicates it's bad, that it's not a good tube anymore?
Well, if it's white, if the top is white, that means there's a vacuum leak, so it's it's done. But it's hard to say. I mean, I guess there's some oddball tubes that maybe would do something, but it probably wouldn't hurt anything even if you plugged it in. I can't say reliably that that's true, but most likely they're mostly 12AX7s that you have, or AT or AU.
So Dave, how many Jose mods do you think are out there?
Oh man, really? I don't know. A lot. I mean, unfortunately, I think a bunch of them that were out there probably got unmodded over the years. Which is a shame, because actually it's a value item. If it wasn't unmodded, it'd be worth more money now. Man, there's a lot. I mean, I personally probably have serviced in my life. I was trying to figure this out, but over 30 of them. So how many do I don't know. I don't know how many
ones. 30 different ones.
30 different amps. At least that's just a rough estimate.
Mhm.
I mean, I went through 7 or 8 of them for my Japanese distributor that has that many. I did 2 of Steve Vai's. I did 1 of John Sykes. I did this other guy that used to be in can't remember his name right now, but he used to be in Lizzie Borden. I serviced his amp.
Hmm.
And it was original, obviously I've seen my own a long time ago and the other one that's here. And then I went through a couple of others recently for some studio that had 2 of them.
How many years was he doing it?
I looked at the McMars one that Richard sold and serviced that. How many years? Probably early 80s to 1992 ish.
Okay.
So
almost
yeah.
a decade.
I mean, there were a lot. I mean, I'd worked on Joe Holmes amps over the years on and off. A lot. Okay. I've seen a lot of them.
So Fabio clarified when he uses his digital pedal after the tube driver, it gets very bright and harsh. By itself, it's glorious.
That's interesting. And putting the buffer in between didn't do anything? If it did nothing, essentially what that means to me is the bright and harsh is actually how it sounds. And the high output impedance, when you're running a long cable out of it to your amp, you're losing top end. And you actually like that. So that's what that says to me.
Okay. Gonzalo Cordovez. He's the Pisco man.
Pisco.
A nice cup of Pisco on your honor. Is Friedman BAD going to Winter NAMM? Cheers.
No. We're not. There's no way at this point, especially. It just I mean, I don't even know what is Winter NAMM going to look like. That's a good question. I didn't even hear anything about Summer NAMM. I mean, like I literally heard like almost zero. Did it happen yet?
I think it's happening next week, like July.
Is it?
July 16th or something like that.
I didn't know. I didn't know if it happened already or.
I think it's happening soon, like in the next couple of weeks.
Oh. What does that look like post-pandemic? I don't know. I would think that there are a variety of companies that probably wouldn't be there. There's some that would be there. Well, we can't be there. Not at this point. It's just not a financial. Every amount of money is going into the move.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah. And frankly, I mean, to be honest, I love doing NAMM, but it's kind of an antiquated business model, I believe.
It's more about getting together with people. And
it's more about getting together with people, but it's, the real question is a $200,000 expenditure worth getting together with people?
Yeah.
And really the size that we do it.
Yeah, you guys do it big.
I don't know. $150,000 to $200,000 is really the mark. I mean, because the booth space alone is like $60,000, just the floor.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So and then you start to freight charges. Well, we're in town, but there's still freight charges, and they charge you for bringing in the freight, and then there's electrical charges, and then there's union charges, and hotel rooms for 15 or 16 hotel rooms for several days.
Yeah, and then
do that math alone.
And then the 4 days that you guys are down.
Well, not only the 4 days that we're down, but the whole month before that we're really not shipping product because we're getting ready for the NAMM show. So really, we're unproductive for a month.
It's disruptive. It's a disruptive.
Entirely.
Yeah. Interesting. And like you said,
I'm questioning whether I will even go. I might go just to see what's going on as a spectator.
Interesting.
Or maybe I don't know, someone's doing it. Maybe we'll throw a couple amps in someone's booth or something.
Well, that's not a bad idea. I won't be there this year, but
yeah. Now let's wait. Let's wait for a while.
I think I'm gonna wait.
Let's not pass around the Delta variant to everyone.
Exactly. JSL Project, thank you for the super chat. Hey guys, congrats on the 100th. Best show along with Pete Thorns. Thanks. Thanks again, Dave, for getting my JJ Jr. back up and running. Best amp and service around.
Cool, man. Awesome.
I love JJ Jr. with my playing it with my band, but my bass player just is moving.
And you know what you like is the fact that it's really light.
Yes,
I can carry it. I carry a 112, and
I don't even have to. Well, I don't have to bring a cab because they have a cab at the studio there.
Right.
So I just bring the head and my guitar, and I'm good, and my pedal board. So.
Even occasionally, myself, I was like, I'm messing with one or working on one, and I go, God, this thing sounds great, and man, it's nice. I could just carry it.
Yeah, it's the perfect weight, perfect size, and I mean, it's loud enough for a band. So
yeah.
Cecil Music. Mark must prefer his Variac to his brown boxes is always on. No, the brown box is always on, but you don't see it. It's behind the cab over there. I've got that running at like 1 to 14 volts. Let's see. Ryan Reeves, congratulations on the 100th episode. I look forward to Tone Talk and appreciate that you guys do the show. Thanks for making the BE50 greatest amp ever.
Cool, man.
It's awesome.
Enjoy.
Amanda Coombs is here. Hey, Amanda, how are you? Let's see. Hang on, I'm trying to find the next super chat. Chandler Motorsports. Could you elaborate on some of the multi-amp live rigs, example, Cantrell, etc.? Should I be using a short slapback for the second amp, MXR doubler, or Still King? Should I be slaving one preamp signal? Multi-amp live rig.
Wow, it depends. It depends on what you want to do. Okay, Cantrell. Here's how Cantrell's works. So Cantrell uses two different amps. Uses one amp set on the JBE setting, which is the higher gain, and uses another amp set on the BE channel. And both of the gains on those amps are back around 6. So if you think that Jerry uses tons of gain, it's not true. And the amp with the JBE has in the loop of it has it's now a DD500 delay for just some ambient echo, meaning I'm not sure about the millisecond, but it's like a 3 repeat mixed low, I don't know, 450 millisecond ish. It can change from song to song, but it's MIDI, so area. So that has a little delay going most of the time. The other amp's dry, except for the effects that are in front of the amp. And there's various. He has a tube screamer that he uses for some leads, just as a little boost. And there's a rig rundown. Actually, if you want to see the rig, it's a rig rundown on Sweetwater. Did it with me. I was there. And I kind of talked about it in detail on what's going on, but he has some various pedals and stuff that he uses, and that's how he uses it. So one's more distorted, one's cleaner, because in the studio he did sort of the same thing. Some amps are more distorted and some are cleaner. You get the cleaner punch and clarity, and then you get the other amp that has more distortion going on. That's one way. I mean, you can also do it where you have one amp, you take a line out from that and you feed it into a delay and into a power amp, let's say, in another cabinet, which is what George Lynch does.
That's what I have.
And that's a great way to do things too. It just depends on your setup and what you want to accomplish. I mean, yeah, if you're looking for some answers to what you want to do, you can always email me at friedmanamps@gmail.com or racksystems@yahoo.com, which is, I guess, more rig related would be that address.
Demi's Phil, thanks for the super chat. Hey Dave, do you still offer modifications on 2204 master volume JMPs?
Sure do. And boy, do I have a lot of them sitting around right now. So I do. You might want to wait a while for me though, because I really need to get out some things that have been sitting here way too long. So I'm trying not to take anything new in, at least not so much. And I'm trying to turn out every last little bit of older stuff that's here.
Okay.
It's a hard thing to manage. I don't want to turn people down either, because I'd love to do your stuff for you, but man, it's hard thing to manage.
Yeah, it's tough, especially when you got everything else going on.
Yeah.
Would the new Mullard EL34 sound good in your amps, Dave?
Yeah, they sound great. They're a good tube. I mean, the 3 sets of EL34s that I recommend are either the Tongue Soul, the Mullard, or the EH. If you want them to sound like old Siemens, go for the EH. The Mullards sound relatively like old Mullards. Not exactly, but they have that characteristic. They're a little more airy on the top end and a little more scooped. The EH have a stronger mid-range. And the Tongue Souls kind of straddle the lines a little bit. All 3 sets of those tubes are great.
Okay. John DeShane, no, it's not a trans trem on my Steinberger.
Oh man,
What's the point? Expensive. They're so expensive. It's crazy to get a lefty trans trem. I saw one for sale out of Japan. It was like $9,000.
Oh, never mind. Not worth it.
No way. I wish Steinberger would just why haven't they come out with it? Like, just release another trans trem.
I don't know. Is that a Gibson brand?
That's true.
Yeah, maybe that's why.
That's probably why. That's probably why. Let's see. Getting to any more super chats. Music Therapy Labs. Just want to say I love you guys. Congrats and cheers. Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it. BB Ninja says Priya pickups say thanks for the shout out earlier.
Oh, awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Sean's a really good guy. And
hey, Sean, reach out to me. I want a pickup or two.
Oh, cool. I've got a few of his pickups.
If I don't sell all my guitars before then. No, I still have some guitars.
Those aren't.
I am on the selling spree though, so you guys will see other things that I'm selling posted on my Facebook. I go there first because generally speaking, they buy things within 3 hours.
Yeah, why not? Why pay the fees?
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. And you're buying from a trusted source. And generally, people know who I am because they're friends with me on Facebook. So
right, you're not going to go anywhere.
Yeah, I'm not going to screw you because you know where I am.
Robert Price, thanks, man. So would you do mini versions of the vintage line? I would love a 15-watt top boost amp. Oh
wow. The 30-watt top boost amp will probably have a lower wattage option. Not that it's that much lower wattage, really, but it'll probably have 15-watt option. So, am I doing mini versions? I don't know. We'll see.
This is what Sean wrote. Had to stop by and say hello. Thanks for the mention. Congrats on the 100th show. Don't get to YouTube much, but wanted to wish you a congrats. Cheers to you both. Prior pickups. Yeah.
Thank you.
Man. Sean, I'll reach out to you so you can get in touch with Dave. Let's see if I missed anybody else here. Nope. Okay. So next one is Chandler Motorsports, thanks again. What makes the Ubershell its own thing from a circuit perspective? And what is the Bogner sound? High plate voltage?
You know what? To be honest, the Ubershell I haven't seen the circuit in a long time, but it's a little unique in what was going on in that particular amp. Not as much with, like, say, the Ecstasy. It's not that unique. What makes the Bogner sound? I don't know. Just how he voices things, really. It's not. It's hard to say how he voices things, too, because he has a variety of different amplifiers doing a variety of different things. It's, to me, it's a little far removed from the vintage amps like the Voxes and Marshalls. It has generally speaking, a slightly smoother tone and generally a darker tone, to be honest. Like an Ecstasy is pretty dark. But it has to do with some of the controls are audio taper pots, so it seems really dark unless you get them up quite high. That's as much as I'm not like a Bogner expert, so
we'll have him on one day.
That should be interesting. That would be interesting.
We'll have him on. Hopefully he'll come on. Waterford Giant, congrats on 100. Thank you. My Dirty Shirley is the perfect pure pleasure to play.
Awesome, man.
Yeah, it's a great
enjoy.
Amp. Yeah, and if you guys want to check it out, if you have the Synergy, get the Dirty Shirley module. It's great.
Yeah.
Scott Urbis, congrats on the 100th show. What is the difference between a JJ Jr. and a Wildwood Pink Taco 20? I guess that's what he's saying.
No, Wildwood 20. It's not a Pink Taco. It's called Wildwood 20.
It's a Wildwood 20? It's different.
Yeah. Well, there was a Pink Taco Wildwood, but
that's what I thought. Yeah.
The newer one, we just called it a Wildwood 20 because it had so many features and stuff. It just became its own thing.
I gotcha.
The JJ Jr. The Wildwood 20 is similar to the JJ Jr., but overall it's kind of a darker tone, and has a few more options. Like it's got kind of a fat option and a lower gain option, and overall it's voiced more like a Pink Taco, which is a darker amp than a JJ Jr. So kind of a hybrid of the two, if that answers.
Yeah, I had a Wildwood Pink Taco and it was great.
Yeah. Well, we took that and then we just changed it. So we had the clean channel, and we had a fat switch, and we had the voice switch on the Wildwood 20, and the SAT, and one of the modes is a lower gain mode without the SAT on, with the boost thing. So it's really versatile. It's a cool amp.
I would say the big difference is
there's one thing in it that makes it darker, which I could take out, and then it would be very close to the JJ Jr., but with more options still.
But the big difference is one's hand wired and the other one is
it's still PC board.
Oh, the Wildwood 20?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But the original
the original Pink Taco Wildwood is hand wired.
Was hand wired. That's
let's put this straight here. To be honest, people always talk about hand wired versus PC board, and really for consistency, reliability, even every amp the same, less human error, a PC board is a better amp. Period. Sonically, it's not going to make any difference whatsoever. None. In fact, you can actually make signal paths shorter and better and more to almost like point-to-point amp style with a PC board. So, And there's definitely, here's the problem. A hand wired amp is made by humans, and humans are not perfect. And occasionally you have a bad solder joint, or a poorly soldered something, or no matter what you do, no matter your best builder will still make those mistakes. And you don't get that as much with the PC board. You really don't.
What about serviceability? Like later on, if you wanted to mod it,
here's the thing: if you design, well, if you want to mod it or do things like that, yes, of course, a hand wired amp's easier. But if you design the PC board right, a thick 2-ounce copper double-sided board, that's robust and beefy, and there's no flexing and there's no nothing, you're not going to have any issues with that. It doesn't even matter if there's tube sockets mounted to it or anything. There's no flex. There's no nothing. There's nothing to crack the joints. There's nothing there.
So that's a good question also. So if they have the tube sockets built into the PC board, because I've seen people, and I've been one of those people who's been like, oh, the tube sockets are on the PC board.
No, it's a bunch of bullshit. I mean, yes, if you have a cheap crap PC board, yeah, that can be an issue, because if it flexes, that's where the issue comes in. You can crack solder joints and things.
But I also thought that you can have, like, if the tubes somehow, get overheated and they can mess up the board.
No. Well, I mean, if you have a catastrophic failure, yes, but if you have a catastrophic failure of a tube, you're even going to have issues with a hand wire thing. It's going to melt all the wires and do everything else. Mm-hmm. So, no.
Okay.
Like all the look, our Runt series amps and JJ Juniors are all PC mounted everything, except the pots. And I mean, on one hand, I can count the number of times we've had to replace a tube socket or something, but that's because something catastrophically failed. But in thousands of amps in one hand, I can count.
Right.
There is no failures.
Right.
It just doesn't happen. In fact, generally speaking, on those amps, it's just, we did have a bad batch of filter caps that were given to us. Those we've had to, replace and repair and do. If we hadn't had that, we wouldn't have had any of those repairs, It is possible. The unfortunate thing is no manufacturer is perfect. No parts manufacturer is perfect. And occasionally they get bad batches of things and give them to you. And then everyone's like, your amps are failing. Well, no, we were given a bad batch of this, and this is why it's failing. I mean, this happens to every company. This is nothing new.
I see people with tubes. Oh, my tubes failed.
My tubes failed. So we had one guy. One guy just emailed me, and he was. I haven't rectified the outcome of this yet, but I haven't rectified the issue yet. But he was complaining that a cabinet that he bought 6 months ago or 5.5 months ago, the beginning of the year, has now developed a speaker problem. Generally speaking, tubes and speakers are warranted for 90 days.
Right.
Because, I mean, you have to understand, I don't know what you're plugging into this cabinet. You could be plugging a 500 watt power amp into a 100 watt cabinet. So if you blow up your speakers, are we supposed to warranty this for how long? What's the proper warranty on that? How long, so we do it for 90 days, generally speaking. It's just the same with tubes.
Right.
And this guy's, whining about that because he thinks that that's awful warranty and this and that. I mean, I don't know what you did to it yet. So and And I go, could you please, because I've never received an email from him, and someone else was talking to him or something, maybe from our organization. I go, could you fill me in on more of the story? Because maybe I can still help you. So let me figure it out. Because Celestian's really good about warranting things, and I might be able to make an exception, but let's see how he responds to that.
Right.
I mean, tell me, how long am I supposed to warranty someone else's speakers that could be abused by who knows who?
5 months. I mean, you could have done a gig and jammed the crap out of those speakers.
Could have been playing a 500-watt bass amp into it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what, are we supposed to warranty those forever? And no matter what you put in, I don't know.
No, I don't think so.
Hang on a minute. I got it. Someone's knocked at the door. Hold on.
Okay.
Sorry.
No problem. Jay Carriega. Happy 100th, guys. I cannot wait to receive my BE Mini I ordered from Sweetwater right now, as they are sold out. That's my luck. They will they'll be getting more eventually. I know that they're coming, so you'll get more. I got mine right there. Jesus, I can't. Right there. And it's cool. It's a cool little amp. It's really it's amazing that you can play it throughout on a 4x12, in this tiny little thing through a 4x12. So let's see what else we got. All right. Drew A. Any solid home stereo receiver recommendations, either vintage or modern? It's funny that you asked that. I've seen on Reverb recently, people are selling their vintage stereos and receivers. I don't know if that's always been going on like that. And the other thing that people are selling are boom boxes, which from like the 80s, and they're selling for like over $1,000, which is crazy. So, for me, it was always Marantz, and let's see who else. Denon, I remember, were good, but this is old stuff. So in terms of modern home stereo receiver, I haven't checked out a home stereo receiver.
Okay, sorry.
It's all right. I was keeping it going. So vintage stereo receiver recommendations.
Oh man.
Or modern.
Marantz, old Marantz.
That's what I was saying. Marantz.
Amazing. I mean, I'm not an expert at this. I have an old Techniques receiver that I love. But again, I'm not the home stereo expert. So the Marantz sounds amazing. My old Techniques sounds amazing.
That's cool. Alex B. Dave, any thoughts on looper switching systems like the Boss ES5? I've heard if you don't need mini presets, then the extra cabling and routing can degrade tone.
No, it's not going to degrade tone. Not at all. I mean, I really like the RJM PBC6. That's an amazing switcher. It has a great editor too. The Boss stuff works great though.
I'd like to get the gig rig when he finally comes out with it.
Well, it's been out, but then he ran out or something.
Yeah, right. It the G3?
Yeah. I have a G2.
Oh, you do?
Yeah. But frankly, I also have a PBC6, which I'm making a little board. Finally, a little board for myself now. I'm the worst. Over the years, it's like finding time to actually build my own thing is almost impossible.
So what are you putting on it? Like what pedals?
I have a BD500, MD500. I have a bunch of old Boss Octave of some era, older one. I have a vintage MXR micro amp. I also have 2 other vintage MXR pedals, a vintage Phase 45 and a vintage micro flanger.
Nice.
I'm a big fan of the old MXR stuff.
Yeah, good stuff. Do you like the stuff that used to come, like the old MXR flanger, like the big flanger that had the plug on it?
Yeah. You got to modify it though to take the plug off and the transformer out of it so it doesn't hum.
But you can do that.
Yep.
Oh, that's cool.
And I and the vintage stuff is better than the reissue stuff. I mean, the reissue is pretty good, but not quite the vintage.
I like the MXR, the EVH flanger. It's good.
It's good, but it's not quite the vintage one though. It's different.
Yeah, it's got a different sweep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jimmy Page, Vernon from Massachusetts here. Congratulations, Mark and Dave. Tone Talk is my favorite YouTube show. Thanks so much. Oh, thanks so much, man. Really appreciate it. Yeah, that makes us happy. Vinny again. Dave, what are your thoughts on the 59 Fender 80-watt twin? I have a reissue that Bonamassa released. It's so loud, I'm thinking of unloading it. Do you like these amps? Just curious.
I never tried the reissue at all, so I don't really know. So that's a reissue of a Tweed Twin, if I'm not mistaken.
And I think it's hand wired.
Which a Tweed Twin, I would think a vintage one would be better, of course, but I don't know. I haven't played that amp, so I'm sure it's loud. It's essentially a Tweed Twin is essentially kind of a Marshall or a Bassman, like a 410 Bassman, but in a different format. So
just get an attenuator for it, man. Run the Fryette through it.
There you go.
By the way, I ordered the Fryette 100.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, it's coming Tuesday. Well, you told me. You said, "Why don't you just get that and then sell?" I'm going to sell the
sell the other one.
Yeah, sell the other one. So why not?
Yeah, I mean, you might come out of pocket a little, but it not really.
Nah, it's mine. I like the fact that you have the 2 channels and
cool. Oh, it's great. The switchable effects loop and the 2 channels. It's awesome. So you can really.
Yeah, he outdid himself.
Yeah. I know. I think when I did his show, it's like he brought up the text I sent. Yeah. Fuck you for making a better product. Said something like that.
Yeah. Check out Fryette's show, the Malcontents.
The Malcontents. It's basically a bunch of grumpy old people talking about a bunch of shit. No, but it's cool.
Yeah,
it's fun.
It's cool. I like the attitude. I like their attitude. Zabo Wabo, hi Dave. How is the Phil X voiced in comparison to the BE? I know it's lower gain.
It's not. Well, no. It's a BE channel, like almost identical.
But it's
just there's less crap. It's a single BE channel. Less crap in the signal path. It's not really, I mean, you have a high and low voltage switch, so that's doing stuff. You have a switch that changes the gain structure a little bit, so that's doing stuff. But in the highest gain mode and the lower voltage mode, it's pretty much a single channel BE. So, but again, there's less crap. There's no switching. There's no nothing. There's nothing compromising the signal path in any way, shape, or form.
Right. And do you think that somehow impacts the tone?
Yes and no. It can, sure. It can a little bit, sure.
Okay. What do you think of this comment from CNC Tematic? I hear Dave, but all warranties are void for misuse. If I bought a cab and used it as intended and it broke, I would feel I should get at least 12 months.
Well, do you feel that about tubes too? I mean, I don't know. Here's the thing. I mean, and I'm not saying I can't help this person. In fact, I'm going to try to help him. But misuse. I mean, it's just a hard thing to prove or disprove. You know, it could be a defective speaker. It could have been something that failed before time, and I will try to help him for that. It's just a hard thing with speakers and or tubes. It's like we can't warranty these more for, a year. No,
try that with Fender and Marshall and see what happens.
Because I've seen this before with companies that they'll get the speaker cabinet, and they'll plainly see that somehow DC was sent down the line and fried the speaker from the power amp that you were using or something. There's a gray area here. It's hard to it's difficult. So
I see it from both sides. I mean, I definitely see it from both sides. From the manufacturer side, it's tough because you're getting dinged and you're selling thousands of product, and I mean, it could add up.
But the thing that I asked was, so this cabinet was good for you for 5 months and then it just did this?
Mm-hmm.
Or was this something you just didn't report, or you didn't use it much, or you never used it and then plugged it in finally and used it? Did you drop the cabinet? I mean, there's lots of questions. So I have those questions into him. I want to help him.
Right.
No. So, and if I can help him, I will.
That's more than you would get from a lot of places.
Yeah.
So that's for sure.
I just hadn't heard anything about it till yesterday. So,
right.
And generally speaking, I'm the first line that hears it first. So I don't know how he got a different email that he was talking to someone else. So,
all right. Well, he's now in touch with the man. So, Justin Espinosa, happy 100. Thank you. Really appreciate it, man.
Can I say something though? When someone emails you and comes at you from a really negative space and it's just crushing you, man, that's a hard thing for you to want to help them. Please don't email me that way. Like, I'll never buy another product again. Like, blah, blah, blah. Don't email me like that. Go, here's what I've been told. Here's the issue that I'm having. Are you sure there's nothing that we can do? Don't come at me like, fuck you,
Yeah.
That really doesn't motivate me to want to help you. I mean, let's just put it blatantly honest. Like, some people go off. I mean, and I've had people go off the cliff with it. And then I go, hold on a second. Let me, let's tell me the story. Tell me the thing. And I help them out. And they're like, oh, I'm sorry. I really didn't mean to do that. And but don't approach it that way. You'll get further if you're nicer than if you're coming at me like, fuck you.
Yeah.
It's just like when you're like all of a sudden out of the blue, just dragged over the coals. Like, hold on a minute. What? This is the first I'm hearing of any of this. So let me,
Yeah, it's tough.
Don't jump off the cliff. We're here to help you. I want to help you. That's the thing. I don't want anyone to be unhappy. So please don't just go crazy on me.
Makes sense. Wyatt Willis, do you happen to know if I need an Eventide micro pitch delay, can do the H3000 Michael Thompson Guidely Clean pitch delay? Do you happen to know if need
the micro pitch
Michael Thompson.
Well, Michael Thompson I think does micro pitch delay. And I mean, that's a sound. I mean, I think you could do it maybe with the H9. But nothing quite does it like the original Eventide H3000. But
okay,
I don't know if that answered it or not.
Long schlong silvers.
I like that.
Dave, would you recommend getting into the amp servicing, modding, and manufacturing business as a career choice? P.S. Please get Sykes on the show.
Man,
We tried.
Yeah. I'll still work on Sykes some more, but he doesn't really want to do the press. Would I recommend that? No. I really wouldn't recommend it. It's going to be a tough road for you if you're just starting. A really tough road. You know, established brands, established people that have been around for a long time can make this work, but man, yeah. It depends. How much money would you like to make? you might not make any. So, that's a tough one. I mean, you know, people send me a lot of stuff because I've been around for a long time and I've been doing this a long time. That's I'm not saying it can't be done, but you got to really be a go-getter. You know?
Yeah. BV Ninja says the G3 and the Atom are live now. Send Dan a message. Cool. I will. Not that I really need it anymore. Wait, did I miss that? Okay. Oh, speaking of Sykes, so you know, we were trying to get some really big names for the 100th show,
and nothing was working out.
Nothing was working out, and it just became this giant pressure to get somebody for the 100th show, and then Dave and I were just like, "Fuck it, we'll just do it ourselves."
Yeah.
So you know, we were really trying for a bunch of different people who were, you know, really big names, and it just didn't work out, unfortunately. Timing, whatever it was.
We will have some of these people, at least. I mean, there were 3 main candidates for this show, and I think we will ultimately down the road have 2 of them. Yeah, there you go. We tried.
We tried really hard, actually. Davis Phillips, thanks for the super chat. Congrats on the 100. I love this show. I know Dave has talked about possibly joining in on the Egnator Amp class at some point. Any updates on that? It's on my post-pandemic list to do.
Well, you know what? I've been bugging Bruce about that. I want to do that. It's really just for fun, you know. I would want to do utilizing the same basic format that he does, but doing a Friedman voiced version and being able to do it slightly bigger. I would love to do that. No updates. I did bug him about it recently, though. It's really up to Bruce, to be honest. Message Bruce. Bug him.
Vinny, Mark, where did you buy it from? Not sure what you're asking, Vin. Send me a text. I'll let you know. Nathan Scott. Dave, do you know how Eddie Van Halen ran his live rig, and how did he route his delay effects when he did his dive bombs and squeals? And I will be right back on that.
Oh, well, wait. Oh, God damn it. So I got to do the same thing.
Can I go first?
I think I'm worse off. I will answer this question if you give me 2 minutes.
All right, 2 minutes.
2 minutes.
Okay,
Mark,
so while you
start this one.
Okay. So yes, I'll start this.
Okay, hold on.
Okay. All right. So his delay effects were run through a separate power amp. So he had an amp, and then he would run a line out to a separate power amp. So the line out would go to his delay, and then he would go into a separate power amp, which was running his wet speakers, which also had the dry mix in there also. And then here's the thing. Dave told me, so he had 2 delay settings. He had the one setting that he was doing where he kind of had that ping-ponging effect, right? But then he also would throw on his cathedral delay. So he also had the cathedral separate kind of delay. So when he would run the ping ponging delay and the cathedral at the same time, that's when it would really get that super high delay and the dive bombs and the squeals and stuff like that. He was running both those delays at the same time.
Okay,
Right?
I'm back. I don't know what you answered.
Well, I'm going to disappear now, and if I answered it wrong, that's what can I say? Go ahead, you answer it. I'll be right back.
All right, so his rig consisted of a pedal board where all his pre-effects, right? So, different times there was chorus, octave, phaser, flanger, wah, and that all went into one of his 5150 amps. And then a line that goes to a dry cabinet. A line out was taken from that amp. It fed a PCM 70 directly into two SDE 3000s, left and right, into an H&H power amp. So it's a 3 cabinet setup. So dry, wet and wet, wet, dry, wet. There were dry sounds in the wet cabinets. So if you turned off the effects, you had 3 equal volume cabinets. And yes, so he had a stereo delay going almost all the time, around 3 and 600 milliseconds, 3 repeats, kind of mixed low. It's was there as a kind of an ambient echo all the time. And then on Cathedral, he would use a PCM 70 and would mix that in. Occasionally, he'd also kick that on for extra delay on solos and things. There you have it.
And if I was wrong, I have no idea.
We probably said the same thing.
I think we did, but who knows? That's funny. I missed the whole thing. Show me that beast. That's funny. Dave Freeman, ever considered what you would name a Rush Paris signature amp? The Tone Boner or something appropriately inappropriate? Cheers, guys. Happy to see 100 shows in the bag, and here's to 100 more. That's so funny.
It's not a bad idea. We could go crazy with that one.
You couldn't sell it on Reverb, though.
We could go crazy with that one. Why did they take the pussy melter off Reverb?
They did. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Why?
For a period of time, they took the pussy melter off.
Oh, come on.
Yeah. And also,
that would be fun to do, though.
Yeah.
I mean, that just opened up a whole no holes bar kind of. You could go insane with that one. I have no idea what the name would be, but I'm sure you guys can come up with 1,000 names for us.
I'm sure. Alex B, other than the Friedman, what's your favorite EVH style pickup from Pete's video? Is it true EVH moved away from traditional A2 because the Floyd made it sound thin?
He never moved away from A2. His pickups now are A2. So he never moved away from that. Just varying amounts of heat after that. I mean, beside the Friedman, actually, I don't think the Friedman is necessarily the EVH pickup. Let's be honest here. In certain guitars, the Motor City Second Degree Black Belt can do it in spades. Now, personally, I use an Alder guitar, and that pickup in an Alder guitar sounds primo. The Ash guitar is the hard Ash guitar is a little more strident on the top end. It's a little brighter and more. It's a give and take. Like, that's what I'm trying to explain. Like, so hard Ash is hard. It's bright and hard, and it's going to make an A5 magnet pickup be harsh almost. With an Alder guitar, it's a little richer in the mids. It's a little subdued on the top end from an Ash guitar. then that pickup fits better in that guitar. A basswood guitar is even softer in its attack and everything. So the pickups you choose are really based on the guitar you're putting them in. Even individual guitars, even from guitar to guitar, you have to find the pickup that works in that guitar. Yeah, of the thing, the Pariah, the 9K A2 Pariah was great in that video. I liked the Mighty Might and even the DiMarzio distortion pickup. I liked the Motor City. I liked the Bare Knuckles. I even like the 59. Depends on the guitar you're going to put it in. Yeah. I mean, the 59 was kind of too low of gain, but it kind of had cool character to it.
So apparently there's some drama going on in the chat with the guitarologist. I don't know what the hell's going on. I don't have the time for it, to be honest with you.
What is going on?
I have no idea. There's just some stuff, comments being deleted. I don't know. Can't we all just get along? Really? Can't we just get along? It's fucking music, guys. Let's not argue.
What's being said?
I don't know. I don't know. I really don't. I can't see his. I can't see his comments. Anyway, let's not even deal with it. Mr. Anderson, congrats on the 100th. All these episodes are of historic importance. Dave, why the bass frequencies are the most difficult to get right? At least in my case, I find myself struggling with that damn bass knob in every amp I have.
I don't know. It depends on what amp you have. Here's the thing that's happened over the years. Over the years, the bass frequencies have gotten more pronounced with modern amps. They've gotten crazy. There is a bass player in the band, so you don't need that much bass. I mean, Super Lead Marshalls didn't have that necessarily that much bass, old Super Lead Marshalls, and things. I don't know how to answer this really. It depends on what amp we're talking about. It's hard to say. I don't know how to answer that for you, other than what I kind of just said.
Okay.
I always reference. Here's what I reference. I reference my old Plexi 50 as a reference, and it's kind of sometimes very enlightening to how much bass you really should have when it's gotten out of hand over time.
Okay, cool. Matthew Stewart, thanks for the super chat. Appreciate it. I don't know if you had a question because I don't. Maybe it's this. I would like to start soldering patch cables for my rack system. What brand, cable, size, and plugs should I get? What's the best place to purchase them?
You can purchase stuff from Bestronics as a company. Square plug ends are really good. They do have some small diameter cable, although I don't have off the top of my head what that is. That work well with those. Also, you can get Mogami 2314 cable from, say, a company called Redco. They have a lot of product that you can buy and purchase online.
Okay. Now, do you think doing it yourself is any better than buying some high-end cables?
Oh, it depends on if you're capable of soldering. Doing it yourself, you can always do exactly what you need, But if you aren't a good solderer, you could have issues. if you don't know about this, you could have issues. So you definitely need to be able to solder, know that you should strip the black off the center conductor. Otherwise it's conductive and can actually make your cable sound like a rolled off tone knob. So, you know, you got to know something about it.
Interesting. John DeShane, thank you for the super chat. Had an issue with my BE100. Dave spent a Saturday and most of a Sunday troubleshooting with me over email. Couldn't resolve it. Sent the amp back. It was fixed and back to me in Canada with 1.5 weeks.
Awesome.
See? That's what we're talking about here.
Yeah. I mean, you know, I take care of all my customers as fast as we can possibly do it, you know, or sit there on the phone. You know, here's the thing. I mean, like if someone emails me on 4th of July tomorrow, I will answer them. You know, I'll be sitting there, you know, I don't like to let my emails go very long. So I'm going to answer, because if I let them go, it's going to be stacked up like a crazy amount of emails, and I can't do that. I'd rather just answer a couple than answer 100.
Okay. Okay. So I got a text here. Also, Vinny wants to know about the PS100. I ordered that from Fryette directly, if you want. And
PS100 is awesome.
Yeah. Yep. And as far as the other drama that's going on in the chat, I'm not addressing it. I don't give a fuck, to be honest with you. So
I can't even address it because I don't know what it is.
Do you want to address it?
I don't know. What is it?
Apparently, the guitologist is saying Dave said what he said about PCB because he sells them and the hand wired are superior. Don't mind the free opinion, but okay. So something about that.
No, that's not about that. You know, you want to get into this? Let's get into this. I mean, a PCB done right is by far a better amplifier than a hand wired amplifier. And I say done right. I'm not saying it's all done right. We could get into this with Fryette. Because Fryette is a big PCB proponent, you know. So you know, you can have your opinions, but it's just not, you know, there's pluses and minuses of both. But here's the thing. I mean, like there's human error involved with hand wired, and you can't get parts as close as you can to tube sockets and to pots as you can with a PC board layout. Most of my amps are hand wired. So, I mean, I don't know what more to say. You know, we can argue this till you're blue in the face, but it's
yeah.
There's plenty of amps out there, full PCB. Bogner Ecstasy, full PCB. Diesel, for them, yeah, full PCB. Mesa Boogie, full PCB, except maybe pots. Fryette, full PCB, always. It's not like it's still high-end amps, but mostly PCB. So, I mean, in fact, we're the minority, being mostly hand wired.
Okay.
And it does come to bite you in the ass after a while. It really does. It takes an extended period of time to make it. You have the possibility of human error. It's, you know, it's just more chances of failure, to be honest.
Okay. George Pelikadusis. I didn't say that right, but Dave, the studio I run has an Ampete 1 100-watt head. Do you know anything about these amps or the man that created them? I think you know who.
Peter Ahrens. Yeah. Peter is an amazing dude, good friend of mine. Makes Ampete amp switchers, made Ampete amps. He was working for Boutique Amps Distribution for a while, but he has now since branched back out on his own. He's living here in California now. And in fact, we should have Peter on the show.
Yeah, love to have Peter on the show.
Yeah, that would be great.
Cool. The 100 show should have had John Sir and George Metropolis. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh God, together.
Uh,
you know, we should have had the 100 show. Should have had George Metropolis and Jakey Lee.
Oh, God.
All together with me.
We wouldn't survive.
Oh man, that would be fun.
Nico Yellow Dog, thanks for the super chat. If you asked a question, I will find it.
Hey, hang on one second.
Yep. Dave, will you show or demo some of your amps in your collection? 68 Plexi, maybe. Actually, if you go back to the, I think it was the Tom Bukovac show, or maybe the show before that, we actually gave a view of some of Dave's amps. But actually, if you see it right here, I'm going to make Dave's screen bigger. You will be able to, or can I do that? Actually, yeah, right here. So if you look, so that's Dave's red Soldano that I believe belonged to Michael Landau. I believe this on top to the left, the Marshall on top is his 50 watt, and then below is a Plexi modded by
that's okay.
Jose.
I'm still here.
Okay. So yeah, so the one below it is a modded Jose Marshall, and the one above it I think is Dave's 50 watt. I don't know anything about the Fender. So in terms of demos, he said that he's going to be working with Michael Nielsen on possibly doing a demo of his 68 Plexi. So
we might even do Kemper profiles of it.
Ooh, that's a smart decision.
Where'd you go, Mark?
Oh,
you're not on the screen anymore. There you go.
I had you all big. So I was talking about your amps behind you.
Yes.
Okay, so the red Soldano.
Hold on.
That was the Michael Landau, right?
Yeah. So that's Michael Landau's number 13 red Soldano. Above that, we have a brown-faced Bandmaster with the harmonic tremolo. At the bottom left, we have a Jose 100-watt Marshall, and above that is my 50-watt Plexi.
That's exactly.
And on the floor, you can't see it, sort of right behind my hand, which I'm trying to point at it, is my blue Vox Copper Top AC30. And it's blue.
Okay. All right. So BV wrote me. Okay. I'll tell you about this stuff later.
Oh, whatever.
Yeah, exactly. We're trying to celebrate here, man. That's what I care about. I want to have a good time.
I don't really care.
Not argue with anybody. You know what? I'm going to say this. I do this for fun. I work all fucking week, killing myself. And this to me is fun. And I don't want to come on here and argue with anybody or have people arguing with us. It's just not cool. So
no.
We do this for fun. More guitars. Long live Tone Talk. Love all 4 of my Friedman amps. Thanks a million, guys.
Awesome.
Thank you. Awesome. Trying to get to everybody's super chat. They go by fast, and if you don't get to it, then I'll try to get back to questions that are not people's super chats. I promise.
Maybe.
Rob, well, we'll do our best. We're running up on 2 hours here. Rob Cunningham.
Yeah, I'm running out of time here too. So,
okay. What's up, Rob? How are you? Congrats.
Rob, how are you, man?
Thanks, man. Hope you're doing well. Haven't seen you in a while. Porky Lowen, Dave, favorite guitar cable length, and why?
Favorite guitar cable of all time is Belden 9778. Good luck finding it on a cable. I hope in the future to make some really high-end cables using that with some no pop ends and some sheathing on the outside of it, so it's really robust. I haven't done it yet. I got to buy a roll of the damn stuff, so they won't be cheap though, because that stuff's not cheap, and I love that cable. It has a great mid-range to it. Was kind of the industry standard in the 70s. So it was a old cable that's been around a long time. And I would do it with like a no pop nitric end and a no pop and a regular nitric end on the other.
And how long?
20 feet. It's
Okay.
just my standard fucking length, really.
Okay. John Pearson, thanks for the super chat. I appreciate it. If you have a question,
Thanks,
I'll
John.
try to find it. Let's see where else. Any more super chats? Yeah. Mr. Anderson, I have various 77 80s JMP 2203 2004s, and I find myself having the bass at 0 to 2, or if I'm boosting them 2 to 5 for tight bass for hard rock, classic, heavy metal.
That sounds right. JMPs, I mean, to me, JMPs and 800s are kind of by themselves are sort of bloated, kind of loose. Generally, I find myself boosting the mids up to like 8, the treble up 6, presence up 6-ish, and then the bass lower than half for sure if they're by themselves. Yes, when you boost them, exactly what you said, when you boost them with, say, OD1 or Super Overdrive or Tube Screamer or something like that,
It's taking the bass
you
down.
lose some of the bass, it tightens it up, and then you can actually turn the bass up a little bit. No more than 5 though, ever. And then that gets that tight, thing that tightens it up. It's sort of like you're modding the amp with the pedal. You know what I mean? It's sort of like what a mod does to an amp. It tightens up the bass and boosts the thing. I mean, that was sort of how the mod started. I mean, let's emulate the pedal that's boosting these amps, The SLO 100 has more usable bass. Yeah, well, here's why that is. So it doesn't if you turn the gain up. But if you're keeping the gain around 5 or something, or 6, there's a bright cap across the gain pot, and that's sort of doing a kind of a high pass filter, and it's sort of negating some of the farty bass, so to speak. Those can be even better if you lean out the very first cap in the amp. That you can get rid of a little of the low end response and be able to use the gain even higher on the amp. I think that's addressed most of it.
Okay. From Vinny again, dude, you're sending a lot of money. Just text
Vinny.
me. Just text me, dude. Dave, I have the Ampete 4x4 for wet, dry, wet. Can or should I run directly in the loop of the Ampete out to my Mesa 2x12 power amp? Can you describe the cabling?
Not sure I understand that, Vinny. If you're doing wet, dry, wet, what I would do is with that, I'd use that as the amp switcher, and then whatever cable is coming off that amp switcher, speaker-wise, to your dry cabinet, I would take a line out off of that, which I could make you, or a SIR line out or something, and then feed that to your effects, and then feed that to your power amp.
Gotcha.
But feel free to email me or text me, since you know us.
George says, "Yeah, exactly. Just text us. We'll take care of you." George. Thanks, Dave and Mark. Please do bring Peter. I'd love to know more about this amp.
I will. Yeah. Actually, I'll reach out to him, and we can talk about stuff. That's actually really good for Peter at this moment.
Yeah, he's cool. Wyatt Willis would love a Stevie Fry at part 2. What's both of your favorite live EVH tone?
Oh,
You know, I love the Balance era tone when he was live, but it was all really
Live
processed.
Without a Net was great.
Yeah.
The earlier stuff than that too, like, so there's some video footage off like '84 tour that was really great.
Mhm.
And obviously earlier, I mean, there's some stuff off VH2 and VH1 that's out there that's amazing.
Yeah. Totally. Let's see. When is the new Steve Stevens amp coming out? Nathan Scott wants to know.
Well, we were so back ordered, we hadn't released it yet. I think that's going to come out as soon as we move, actually. So I hope to do that. And I hope to get a video done, and I hope to do a lot of things, but I'll do it as fast as I can.
More Guitars wants to know, Mark, what is that red guitar behind you? It looks beautiful. That's my Friedman.
Hang on a sec.
I'll actually grab it. Try not to hit the fan at the same time. Here. So this is my Friedman. I hate these cameras. So there you go. And it's kind of heavy relic. I love this guitar. Signed by Grover. Dave keeps leaving me. I feel alone here. Okay, so that's the guitar. Yeah, it's a great guitar. I want to check my messages here to see if I'm making sure that I got everybody's super chat. Okay, yes, I got to those. Matthew Stewart. Okay. Perfect.
Sorry.
No problem.
Champagne going right through me. Sorry.
Roger Dat. Dave, love all 4 of my amps you built. May I respectfully ask why are the power standby switches upside down? Can I flip them?
They're not. They're right side. They're the right way for me. Here's the thing. I grew up with English style amps, and English style amps on is down. So all vintage Marshalls on is down. So that's why. And could you flip them in some instances on some amps? Maybe. In some instances on other amps, no. But yes, you could.
Okay.
If it bothers you that much. I mean, you obviously aren't someone that had owned old Marshalls in the previous, times.
Well, I remember seeing people posting the same thing about your combos. Why is it when I have to look backwards to look at the?
Yeah, it's so funny. It's so funny. I had a amp, a new 20-watt Plexi amp combo that I modded for someone, and like that screen, so you see it screened upside down. As far as I'm concerned, screened upside down. And when I'm looking at it, I'm getting confused. So I think it's really just what you grew up with.
Right.
I mean, honestly, for a production standpoint, it makes more sense to screen them all the same and put them in the combo, because you can interchange the chassis with a head shell or a combo. Right, otherwise, I'm going to have a different panel on the amp, and really, is it that big of a problem? I mean, maybe that's just showing my age that I grew up with amps that were like that. I mean, all the JMPs, even through the 70s, I think even the JCM 800 combos, they were all screened that way.
Right.
So it makes more sense for us because we don't have to put a different panel on it. And then inevitably people with combos ask for head shells. A lot of the times, and when they do that, it's just take it out and put it in the head shell. There you go.
Oh, really? A lot of people ask for that to convert.
I get tons of people that have combos that want to convert it to a head shell.
Huh.
In reality, I don't even know how we make combos. I mean, there's lots of problems with combos. I mean, tubes close to speakers, microphonics, rattling. There's all sorts of stuff. It's almost easier to honestly have a head and a small cabinet than it is to have a combo.
I prefer it personally.
You know, just have, you can have a small cabinet with a head, that's fine. And then you can, there's less compromises.
Right.
Yeah.
Bill Manhart Jr., thank you so much for the super chat. Very generous of you. And happy birthday, America, July 4th. Yep. America. America. John DeShane. Dave, how do I make my BE100 sound like your 50-watt Plexi? Settings, switches?
All switches off in the back. Hang on. Response switch and frequency switch to the right. Voice in the center. Gain on 10. BE channel. EQs around 6. Volume to whatever you want. Probably turn your system volume up to 8 and then use your channel volume for whatever volume you want it at. And then presence also around 6-ish, and the thump might be on the lower side, maybe around a quarter of the way up or something. That'll get you in the ballpark.
Cool. Good question, John.
But it can literally do my Variact 50 verbatim. I've proved it several times.
That's cool. Alex Sato, $15. Thank you so much from Canada. Sorry for such a simple question, but if I use a brown box to run my Run 20 down to 115, 17 volts, do I have to worry about rebiasing the tubes?
No.
It's not a bad vote. Yeah. Yeah. Nope, you're good. Porky Lowen, thank you for answering my questions and congratulations on the 100 episodes. This is the best show on YouTube. Keep it going, gentlemen. We will.
And maybe
we definitely. We're approaching the end here of the super chats.
We're approaching the end because
you got a guest?
No, I have John that works with me here on Saturdays. So
okay,
he's here and we're taking apart amps in the other room.
All right. Brooke Silver, happy 100th. Love the show and my Friedman gear. Thanks so much, Brooke. Almost there. I think, is there anything else? I think I've covered them all.
I'm sure we missed some other stuff.
Oh, there's where's Dave moving? Well, Dave's not moving anywhere. The shop, the factory's moving.
Yep, correct.
Let's see if there's anything else that I missed. So just to let you guys know while I'm scrolling through this, that our next show is July 9th with Dweezil Zappa.
Awesome.
And then after that, we've got Universal Audio. No, sorry. No, Universal Audio's today. July 24th, we've got two notes coming on.
Guillaume
and Justin Bryant are coming up. And then we're working on some other ones. So those are the next two shows.
I think in relatively short time period, we'll have Peter Ahrens from Amp Pete and probably Wrench Rankin from Tyler Guitars, I would imagine. I can make that happen within a lickety split time frame.
Yeah, let's do it. That would be great.
Yeah, Rich is awesome.
We're working on other guests for sure. So yeah, next show, July 9th, will be Dweezil. I will check out our Facebook, Twitter. Sweetwater. Yeah, definitely check out Sweetwater. I forgot to
honestly, if you guys want to buy anything in the near future from Sweetwater, that would be awesome. Use our link posted below that helps out the show, and because we basically do the show for free. And anything that helps, we do have some operating expenses involved with the show. So
yeah, some operating. I wonder why I got so dark. So my camera just like went dark. Weird. Okay. Well, anyway, that's the next set of shows that we've got. You guys, thank you so much for joining for our 100th
if we missed your questions, and you want them answered, please email Mark at what?
It's Tone Talk Mark, MARC at gmail.com.
And he will pass them on to me, and I will answer you promptly.
I think I've gotten to all of them. I think I did, but
there might be a few in here that we missed that weren't super chats.
That's true.
That you want to know. We could go on for 4 hours, but unfortunately, I got work to do. Otherwise, no one gets their amps. So what? Yeah. Why isn't my amp done yet? Well, because I did a 4-hour tone talk. So you gotta understand. Sorry.
Yeah. Well,
maybe we'll start to do these question shows more regularly in between other shows. Like on Saturdays or something.
Yeah.
Because that might be a good idea.
Works for me.
Tone Talk Saturday.
I'm good with it, and
then maybe we'll limit it. Maybe we'll limit it to like an hour or something, but like do it every Saturday or something, something like that. I don't know. I'm talking off the top of my head here.
All right, we'll talk about it.
Yeah,
I didn't even get to our favorite shows and some viewer comments, so we'll do that like next.
Oh, favorite shows. The favorite show for me, I think, was the Jakey Lee show. It also might be the one that took most of my took a little more off my life. But that was a good one. I love the Grover Jackson show also.
Yep. Grover is our first one.
Yeah. So
I love to see Vi and
Steve Vai was a great show.
Lukather was great. He was on
Lukather
fire.
was fun. Yep. We hope to have some other really cool ones.
Yep, we will. So we'll talk about this next time. So you guys have a great weekend.
Thank you.
Thank you for all the super chats. We appreciate it. Have a great weekend, guys. Take care.
See you later. Bye.